This is the plaintiff, Lance Sellers. He says he enrolled in the defendant's truck driving school so he could learn to drive a tractor trailer and pursue a new career in these tough economic times. He took the complete course but failed to get a job because they didn't teach him how to back into a bay and unload cargo. What kind of a rinky-dink school doesn't teach you the things you actually need to get hired for a truck driving job? He's suing for $2,000, the amount he paid for the course. This is the defendant, Dominic Pinto. He says he's been in the business 42 years teaching people to drive big rigs and told the plaintiff from the get-go he'd need additional lessons if he wanted to get hired in the real world. After all, he is competing with guys who've been driving their whole lives, and he has some catching up to do. Bottom line, the guy didn't want to pay for the additional courses, so here they are. He's accused of not trucking it up.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated and come to order. Litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay. Lance Sellers?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing the driving school, represented here by, you don't want us to use the name of the driving school, we'll respect that, represented here by its owner, Dominic Pinto? Okay. For $2,000 that you paid them in driving lessons that you want returned to you because it didn't do you any good. Okay,
That's
what happened
correct.
here?
Okay. As you said, Your Honor, the reason that I'm here today is because I paid the driving school $2,000.
And what made you decide that you wanted to be a driver? Like, what business were you in?
I have 16 years of advertising and sales. After the economy and Wall Street crumbled, the dynamics of my position changed drastically, and I had to make a choice as far as a career change. And for various different reasons, I decided to get into driving, and particularly semi-tractor trailer driving.
And why did that attract you?
Just being out of the office, you know, a big change.
Big wide open road.
Yeah,
Okay.
not necessarily long haul driving, just, you know, just something I always thought about, and I decided to move forward and execute that plan that I had.
Okay, so you decide that you're going to take a course with them, and you take the course, and do you have a contract? Is there a contract that he signed? No.
There's no contract, no.
Okay, and what course did you take?
I have a pamphlet, one of their pamphlets here. There's a couple of things in this pamphlet that I'd like to point out after.
Okay.
But there's no contract, but I spent, you know, weeks sitting with the salespeople, and at the end of each conversation that I had, I looked this guy straight in the eye and I said, "Will I be trained in the skills I need to actually be able to get on the road and start driving a tractor trailer?" And he said, "Yes, you will be able to drive a tractor trailer when you complete the course."
Okay, what course did you pick?
I took a 13. There's a whole bunch of things in here, but it's
right,
the one
but which one did you pick?
The 13-hour individual behind the wheel instruction course, which also includes various other different things, and
Okay.
that was for $1,390.
Was it one-on-one with the instructor?
Yes, it was.
Okay, how was your instructor?
In my opinion, the instructor was fantastic.
Okay, and then what happened? Did you go out and try to get your driver's
A road test,
a road test in order to get a what license?
a CDL Class A
Commercial
license. Driver's license.
Okay, and how'd that go for you?
Unfortunately, the first time out, I failed.
Okay.
So what I did at that point is I took an additional 2 hours and had the school. They were very professional about it. Schedule a new road test for me.
Okay, now the additional 2 hours was to do what? Go over stuff that had already been gone over?
Yeah.
Did they make you pay for that?
Yes.
Okay, how much more did you pay?
I believe $530. It's the only actual receipt that I do have.
Okay, and then what happened?
I passed the road test.
Okay, great. And then what happened?
I didn't find a position, but I found a company that was willing to take me on board on an evaluation period, I guess a student driver kind of thing, to see where I stood, to see if they would actually hire me. They very quickly found out, and so did I, being that I wasn't from the industry, that I did not know how to back up the trailer into a docking bay. I was with a seasoned driver, and he basically told me, you know, "Lance, okay, back up into this bay." And I didn't even know what he was talking about.
Who are these people?
This was a transportation company.
So this was somebody who was actually interviewing you for a job.
Right.
Okay. And then he tells you back into the bay, and you go, "What bay? What backing in?" I had no idea.
I did not know how to do that, and they basically told me that I couldn't work for their company. Subsequently, I called up two of the largest transportation companies in the nation. One of the first questions they asked me was if I knew how to back up into a bay, and I had to be honest and say no, I did not.
Okay.
At that point, I was recommended by all three of the transportation companies to go back to the school and tell them that I'm not sufficiently trained in knowing how to, drive fully.
Okay.
What it takes to be a driver.
Okay. Are there jobs out there, and maybe you're the wrong person to ask, but are there jobs out there that don't require backing into a bay?
Not for
driving jobs.
Not for tractor trailer jobs. No, you need to know how to back up.
All right. Can I see the pamphlet?
Sure.
Talk to me.
Everything that
What is your relationship? Who are you?
I'm the director of operations.
Okay. Are
I'm
you
also
related?
the son. Yes.
Yeah, I can tell.
Can you tell?
It's like a Jackie Mason thing going on there. All right. So go ahead.
By the way, Your Honor, I started this 42 years ago when I was 6 years old.
When you were 6, right? Right. Okay. Go ahead, son.
So,
Don't embarrass your father. Do this right. Go
all
ahead.
right. In regards to everything that the plaintiff said, dates, the training, the package that he acquired, yes, there was 13 hours of training, one-on-one. In regards to the package that he took after failing the first road test, he took a 5-lesson package on an automatic tractor. He switched up to an automatic tractor, then took the road test and was able to pass.
Okay, but he says that this is sort of bogus because no tractor trailer driver out there can possibly be a tractor trailer driver without knowing how to back up into a bay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that true or not true?
That is not necessarily true. And one reason that you could see that is because of the road test sheet that is actually given by the Department of Motor Vehicles from New York State does not test you on alley docking.
Doesn't test you on that.
It does
and
not.
yet it gives you a license to drive a tractor trailer.
Yes.
Is there another package he could have bought that would have taught him how to do that? Or is that listed anywhere in your pamphlet, this whole like backing into a bay thing?
Well,
Your
yes,
Honor,
yes.
we have a large package of 40 hours plus. But Mr. Sellers, he comes from a selling, he's a salesperson. He came over there, he wants to make in 6 hours, in 10 hours, in 5 hours, in 13 hours, he wants to become a driver of a tractor trailer, which is an 18-wheelers. Requires a lot of driving, a lot of
But
experience.
you offer that package. He didn't make up the 13 hours. That's one of your packages.
But he did not want to accept the large package because he didn't want to spend a lot of money. And I understand.
Okay, is there anywhere that it's broken down about this whole like?
Yes, it is, Your Honor. You're looking at the tractor trailer pamphlet.
Yeah.
If you look on the first inside cover, as soon as you open, we have a roadmap to success. On the bottom, you have after your road test, be sure to ask about advanced driver training, alley docking, coupling and uncoupling, highway, bridges, tunnels, night driving. These are all additional advanced training.
Okay. Well, what do you think happened? Why couldn't he get a job?
For the industry that he was going for the job that he was going for, they asked him and they required him to know alley docking. Now that's fine. There's many people that have come upon this. They took a road test, passed the road test, and then they needed subsequent training. So they come back to us and they see what they need the help on, where they, depending upon what job they're looking to get.
Does anybody ever say that to him though from the beginning, and then he's cutting corners, or you guys don't tell him that?
We definitely do. We train people to. We try to instill in the minds of our students that this is a career driving training. Of course, there is no mandatory.
Meaning what? They got to keep paying you to learn more stuff?
Yeah, pretty
I'm
much.
sure you do.
I mean, if you order,
I'm sure you do, but I'm a little concerned that the last sentence of your answer to the complaint, it's hard for the people who complete our school to find jobs. They're competing with people who had years of experience driving that were laid off. Well, that's not exactly a resounding reason for me to pay you money to learn how to drive. If you're telling me that the industry's gotten, that things are so tough in the industry that it's going to be hard for them to find a job. But be that as it may, that's really not their concern. That's your concern. Finding a job is your concern. You don't pay them to find you a job. You pay them to train you. Why is it their fault and they got to pay you back every penny that you paid them for that instruction when you got the instruction? Why? Because in your words, now I'm going to make you eat your words. I found out that long haul driving just wasn't for me. I did a trucking job with a friend. Traveling down the Rocky Mountains at 35 miles per hour with 65 tons of cargo with no lights on the street freaked me out. I prayed the whole way down, and I still don't know how to back into a bay.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So if you go to a trade school and you pay a lot of money and you can't get a job, can you get a refund from the trade school?
Absolutely not. No.
Why?
Well,
You didn't get a job.
every kid in America who doesn't get a job out of college would then be suing to get their money back too.
Oh, interesting theory. What do you think?
Well, repeat that again.
What do you think?
Well, he just went to learn. He just only went to learn a trade. Like
Yeah, but when you go to trade school, you want a job. That's the end game. If you don't get the job, can you get your money back?
No.
Who's committed about this?
He is.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
Why do we go back to square one and you get all that instruction for free, which is essentially what you're asking?
Maybe it wouldn't be fair for the full amount, Your Honor, but I did call the school back and give them the opportunity to train me in backing up. And that's when I was, again, trying to be sold for another package for another $500.
Okay. But see, you've got to, first of all, let me just say something that I would be remiss if I don't say. I applaud you in trying to figure out what you want to do. And sometimes it doesn't work out, and be that as it may, it's still valiant of you to try to find whatever you think might be your life's passion. And I encourage you to continue to do that. Sometimes there's a cost associated with doing that, and you're about to see this one. But the problem that I have is that for you to be able to get money back from them, I have to find that they did something wrong. Mm-hmm. For example, they cheated you by claiming that they were teaching you more than what they claim to have taught you. But right here in your own pamphlet, it talks about an advanced course, which is not something you bought, that specifically says in the advanced course, you will learn how to back into a bay. I mean, it essentially says that. Alley docking, right? That's what backing into a bay.
That's exactly what
And,
it is.
you know, so how can I look at that and tell them you must return some of his money? I know you want to cut your losses and get back maybe some of what you invested that turned out not to be a good idea, but it's always a good idea to invest in your future and try to figure out what you want to do. Now, at least you know this isn't for you. But based on what I've seen, I don't think that I can look at them and say you did something misleading or wrong or anything else. I find in favor of the defendants, and I wish you luck.
Thank you.
Let's see what the plaintiff has to say about this right here. And so you don't get it. You don't get what you sued for. What's your reaction to this outcome here?
Well, I respect the judge's decision, and that's about it.
When did you realize you weren't a truck driver?
Like she said, while I'm barreling down the Rocky Mountains, 75 miles an hour, 65,000 tons.
Yeah, what happened there? What took
Very
place in your
scary.
head? You got scared
I
all of a
was praying
sudden?
the whole way down. Let it end.
Like at that moment, it hit you?
Yeah. That
Really?
moment.
Well, what do you think you'll do next?
I'm going to continue on my career path in sales and advertising.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, right down this way. All right, nice job. Here's the driving school guy who turned him back into a salesman.
That's correct.
How'd you do that?
No, Mr. Seller is a gentleman. However, USA stands for you sue anyone. So
It's really?
I think so, because he knows exactly that he got more than he paid for. Unfortunately, this is not a buffet where you pay once and you eat as much as you can. He ordered a la carte.
Do you think he would have made a good truck driver if he stuck it out?
If he took a little or many lessons, yes. If he got a lot of practice and if he liked, because you have to be dedicated. Road safety is not for everybody. Driving a truck is not for everybody.
Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, here's the thing. A school doesn't warrant that somebody will get a job. All they warrant is that they will offer proper training. But once you're out, you're on your own. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.